Okay, so we have a new episode of Legends and Leaders, and today it's great to have YVES here. So you've been a DJ for quite some time, gotten some incredible hits. One of which really took you to a different place was with "Insane Pressure" in 2009. That was an incredible song for you, and you've been a staple for Tomorrowland for the music festival for many, many years, pretty much since its beginning. So I'm excited to have you here and to get into your story.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Awesome. So, how did your passion for DJing, for making music, for wanting to become, wanting to DJ as your career, how did that kind of start?
Wow. I actually was always into music, I guess, because around the age of 6, 8 years old, I think my parents sent me to music school. I had to learn to play the violins, which actually I don't have. Yeah, it was not a big success. Let me say it like that. But I was always, music was always a big part of my life. And I think around when I was 15, I always drove by like a vinyl shop, like a
Okay.
small music shop. And I don't know why, but one day I decided to go in, bought my first record, started playing in my bedroom for many years, to be honest. And from there on, started to organize my own parties. And I have to say, back then, DJs were not the DJs that you see now, because like I think my biggest goal back then was maybe playing like somewhere in a club in Belgium. That was like, whoa! Imagine if that would work one day. DJs were not like the superstars. They were not in the top 50 with their music. It was such a different time back then. But for me it was quite a journey, to be honest. So I started when I was 15. Now I'm 43 and I'm still DJing, which I'm very happy about that. But started in clubs, and back then, around I think the first edition of Tomorrowland, I met the team, and
Mhm.
they gave me the opportunity to, at that time, play at the VIP section of Sensation White, which was a huge party back then all over Europe. And after that show, they loved it, and they asked me like, what do you think to play at all our events? And so they gave me the chance to play at the main stage. And almost 20 years later now, I'm still playing the main stage of Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland's still a big part of my management, but also like friends, like a small family. And I'm really lucky to travel the world and meet so many people all over the world with music. And it doesn't feel like a job. It's my passion. I'm always doing music 24 hours a day, and I'm quite happy and lucky with that.
That's awesome. So you bought this, this record, you were playing around with it. How did you start to shift towards like learning the skills to DJ and actually making your own tracks? And once you made them, how did you actually get traction for them and get them out there?
I actually really started as a DJ, because also back then, like being a producer was quite difficult.
Mhm.
You had to buy all the hardware and things like that. Nowadays, the kids can choose it. They buy a PlayStation, or they buy a laptop where they produce their music on. So back then it was quite difficult. So I started as a DJ. Like I said, when I bought my first records, I spent a few years at my own bedroom practicing it. I remember my friends sitting there and just like, what, like listening what I was doing. And then I actually decided I really wanted to play at parties, but it was also quite difficult because I participated in so many DJ contests. I think I did all the clubs in Belgium with my mixtapes, and but it wasn't such a success, to be honest. So that's why actually I was a little bit forced to organize my own parties here in Antwerp, and I was lucky enough that they were quite a success. So that helped me as a DJ, and like my journey as a DJ was there already for many years before I decided to start producing. because, like I said, it was not that easy back in the days. But yeah, we had some great producers back then because it was a huge trance scene and even techno scene as well. Like guys like YVES V and Push, which I think still are quite famous out there. Yeah, and but at that time, that was like my first steps into producing as well. But I started quite late, and I actually regret it. I still regret it. I wish I started earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, so quite a journey.
Definitely. So when you got into producing, you got the track Insane Pressure. Can you just talk a little bit about how that became so successful? Why do you think that performed so well for you?
Well, I think it was a huge success, especially in Belgium, because we used a sample which was quite well known club track from many years before, and I think it was the right time that we used that sample with a fresh sound, which really worked back then, and yeah, it got so many support from everyone, and the feedback was amazing, and yeah, that was actually for me a bit the start of the producing. My
Mhm.
producing career as well.
So that was the beginning of it. What made sense to go down that path once you had that kind of success?
Yeah, especially because DJing was also evolving. Like all over the world, you saw festivals coming. Like DJs were booked abroad, which before wasn't also, it didn't happen. And yeah, if you wanna like people from abroad to get to know you, you have to bring them something, and uh, you have to do that through music, of course. So yeah, for sure that that helps a lot, and
Mhm.
yeah, it's also a passion of mine. I still work with a lot of. I have a really good studio team where we and I love to go in the studio and try to produce some new sounds, and
Mhm.
yeah, it always makes it very interesting as well.
What did you think of like Tomorrowland when it was getting started? You were at the ground floor. Did you think it would become as big as it is now? Like, what did you think the potential was?
Oh, I think I was very happy to play there back then, but it wasn't what it is now, of course. I remember saying to my friends, like, hey, I'm booked at Tomorrowland, you guys joining me? And I remember, I think the reaction was, yeah, let's see. I don't know if you have to work. Maybe I come, maybe not. Which, of course, nowadays is quite different. But no, I was lucky enough to start there from the beginning. So I think I was part of the story. It evolved, and I think my career evolved as well. And I remember, I think we were like, I don't know, after 6, 7 editions of Tomorrowland, I was in Mexico, and yeah, a friend of mine who works for Tomorrowland as well. We were on holiday there, and some people were talking about Tomorrowland. So like, wow, there's a festival in Belgium tomorrow. We really want to come. And I remember both of us were like, whoa, they know Tomorrowland. Wow, crazy. Apparently, we're doing something really cool here. So yeah, I don't think we knew it from the beginning, but I have to say, like, the organization of Tomorrowland, you have a lot of people, they always say like, oh, imagine if we do this, or imagine if we do that, that would be amazing. And they were always, we do this and we do that. And they always, yeah, they were always thinking out of the box. And I think that's what Tomorrowland made what it is today. And yeah, nowadays, I think Tomorrowland is even more known than Belgium. Sometimes I say I'm from Belgium, and people, oh, Belgium, yeah, there's Tomorrowland. Ah, Tomorrowland. So that I think that says it all.
Yeah, I mean, the brand they've built has been incredible, and it's been very different for the music space. What they've done, I mean, so many artists perform there. New songs that become viral from Tomorrowland. It's become huge.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. The
Yeah.
impact is there.
So, Eve, what do you think it takes to be like a great DJ and to perform a really good set? Like, how do you gauge the audience? How do you kind of prepare properly for a really to have a good set?
Oh, yeah. First of all, I think there's so many great DJs out there. So, but yeah, I think for me, of course, I prepare new music, new mashups, things like that. But I always feel like, and it's very hard to describe, but when I have like the feeling like, okay, this was like an amazing set, I really felt that I brought the audience, the crowd, like in my story. We had a connection, and it's very hard to explain. But for example, I'm sure I can give a DJ 20 tracks and give me 20 tracks, and I'll do something different with the same tracks than the other DJ. So there's also something like I don't know, how do you call it? The X factor? I don't know. It's very hard to explain, but yeah, you need to read the crowd for sure. And I think that's very, very important as a DJ. I think everybody nowadays can play like the 10 hits of the moment in front of a crowd, but you have to do something with it that makes it more unique and more special.
And how do you like figure out what to do that is unique and special? Because every audience is different. Is it just experimenting?
Well, I think I'm a bit lucky because I'm DJing for so many years. And for example, when I started DJing, I played more like, because I wanted to play in clubs, but I didn't have the opportunity. So I had to start more like in bars where I played like from 8 o'clock at night to 6 o'clock in the morning. I had to play every kind of style there was, like from pop, old school, R&B, everything. So I think that really teach me how to play and how to read the crowd as well. So even if I'm playing tomorrow at a main stage somewhere, I can still adapt to the crowd. If I feel the crowd wants more commercial, for example, or a little bit more deeper or hard, I can always adapt my set. And I think that's probably what a DJ needs to do. I'm there because to give the crowd an unforgettable evening. So you have to count in the crowd as well, of course.
So you touched on a point I was going to bring up, later on. Like, how do you manage the schedule of performing from 12 o'clock to 6 in the morning? And then also, like, as you get older, you want to have a family or different things like that. Like, how do you progress with that type of schedule?
Wow, actually, that was really, really difficult. Like let's say like 5-6 years ago, I was touring probably 90% of the time. And I loved it, but for example, when I was in Mexico, my agency called me like, hey, you can do another show on Sunday. I would never say no. I would always say yes, and always had the feeling like I have to do it now because maybe tomorrow it's finished. But I was like in a roller coaster. It kept on going because, at the end of the day, I don't know how long I was already on tour and playing. It's 10 plus years for sure. But then I have to say, because of COVID, that gave me a little bit the rest. And that was something that I really needed, to be honest, because I have a family. Back then I had 1 kid, now I have 3 kids. And because of COVID, I started to find more like a balance between my normal family life and being at home with friends and my life on tour. I think before there was only touring, and whenever I had time, I went back home. But now sometimes I say no to a show, which a few years ago was unthinkable. I would feel so bad, like, oh, I always have to say yes. So, and it was also necessary, I think, for my health as well, because the touring part of the different time zones, flying. I think for 10 years straight, for sure, I didn't sleep well. I finally have a normal sleep rhythm again. Like, I fall asleep at a normal hour at night. Before I was awake at 3 o'clock. I couldn't sleep. So I think for my health, it was also a good decision. So, finally I have more like a balance.
Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty difficult. Like, you're DJing at pretty tough hours when a lot of people are sleeping, and then to actually function with that on a consistent basis is probably not easy.
Yeah, no, indeed.
So you've done some incredible collaborations, one of which was with Afrojack. What was it like working with Afrojack? What did you kind of pick up, maybe some interesting things that you implemented from him?
Oh, wow. Afrojack for sure was one of one of the DJs and especially producers where I really was looking up to. So when I had the chance to finally have a collaboration with him, because I actually came with a vocal to him, for me it was an honor to work with him. He's super, super talented, especially how he produces very fast as well. So that was for me still one of the highlights for sure. Like from the tracks that I released, and we still see each other quite often at shows. So yeah, let's hope maybe one day we can do something again. I would love that.
So his style is very quick in producing.
Yeah, at least it looked like that for me. But yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't know. You can really feel it when somebody's really talented, and yeah, he's definitely much more talented in producing than me. So yeah, it's. I would love to work with him again for sure.
So
Yeah.
you started out, it wasn't even easy to get club sets. And then you wound up in 2015 being 34th position on the DJ Mag Top 100 list. What was that experience like going from couldn't even get booked to now you're one of the top DJs in the world?
Yeah, I think for me it wasn't that suddenly. It was not like from one day to another I was there. So I always had the feeling that for me it went quite like natural. Everything went natural, but still, yeah. If one day you're in the top 100, it's really nice to see that people are voting for you and appreciating you. So yeah, it was an honor. But at the end of the day, like I said before, there's so many great DJs, and I don't think you can really call like one DJ the best DJ
Mhm.
of everyone. It's very hard because there's so many talented people. Even sometimes when I play in a club, I hear like the warming up DJ doing such a nice job, sometimes better than some of the main acts, to be honest. So it's of course it's an honor, and I was super happy with that, but it's not my main goal. Let's say it like that.
Makes sense. What would you say it takes to have a long lasting career as a DJ? Some people come in, then they come out. You've been able to have a career for many years now in the space. How do you create longevity?
Oh, I think you have to, of course, work for it every day. I that didn't change for me. When I was 16, I was doing music 24 hours a day, and even now I'm still doing the same. And I think you also have to evolve. Like, don't stick with something, and I it's of course very good that you have your own style, or you want to bring like your own vision to it, but you always have to adapt a bit. Everything changes, music evolves as well, and you have to be open for that. But I think that also makes it much more interesting. So yeah, keep working hard, and yeah, evolve with, go with the flow. I would say.
Yeah, be on top of the trends, you're saying.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, indeed.
And then you probably have to kind of put your own spin on them too to make, to refine your avenue.
Yeah, you have to try to do that indeed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, what would you say you want to accomplish now? What are some of the avenues that you haven't been in yet? What are some maybe new styles of music you want to create? What are your goals at this point?
Oh, I think my main goal is if I can do what I'm doing now, which is still like performing all around the world and making music and playing at so many amazing festivals. That for me is already an amazing accomplishment. But besides that, yeah, you always have goals, of course. For example, I have the V Sessions brand, which is my stage at Tomorrowland as well. And I'm actually now expanding the brand a bit. We just did like 3 or 4 events already. So I'm trying to do some more events, like more like the EV and Friends family. So I'm trying to expand that. And yeah, besides that, I would love to have another radio hit, for example. So yeah, we're still creating music, and we will see where it goes. But at the end of the day, I'm doing what I love to, and that's the most important thing for me. And I really enjoy it as well. So that's also
Mm-hmm.
very nice.
Why did you want to launch this kind of new brand?
You mean the V Sessions, or
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
when?
Why did you like? Why?
Oh,
Why?
why? Oh, no, it's actually it started at Tomorrowland. I had the chance to host my own stage,
Mm-hmm.
which became the V Session stage, and it's also my radio show. And I think for many years now, I only did the radio show at Tomorrowland. But since the last few years, I really had something like, we have to bring a bigger story. It can be such more than only those two things. So that's why. And also a lot of people were asking me like, hey, don't you organize V sessions here in Thailand, for example?
Mhm.
Or so that's why I'm trying to bring it more to abroad.
Yeah, that'd be cool. How
Yeah.
do you see like the music in general changing, like over at least over your time as a DJ? How have you seen like the way music's made change, and where do you think it's going?
Oh, that's always very difficult to say. At the end of the day, for me, uh, everything is about electronic dance music. So I think electronic dance music will always be there, but always in different forms. For example, now you have like the Afro house, which is very, very popular, which I also really love. But is it going to be there next year? I don't know. Techno scene, even the 90s vibe is also very, very popular. Like here in Europe, for example, the hard techno. But you never know what what what's going to be there next year. Like I said, you always evolve, but I don't think about it every day. It goes very natural, and maybe next year I'm working on a track with a totally different sound. What I would say now. So, but that makes it very interesting as well. So it's good that we don't do the same all over again for for the last 10, 20 years. So I'm very curious and I'm very excited for the future for sure.
That's good. You got to be curious. I mean, that's the only way I'm sure you'll discover new
Yeah,
trends.
and I think we're all trying to find like the new sound of the new thing, or so everybody's trying to find that. I hope I'll find it, but otherwise it's someone else, and yeah, we'll evolve. Also, yeah, we'll see. Yeah,
Mhm. Just the last question that I have, where
yeah.
would you say your next 5 to 10 years, like what does that look like the next 5 to 10 years for you?
Well, I think still in music for sure. I think I'm way too young to stop, so I would love to do what I'm doing now. Just more in a balance, like I said before. But I hope I'm still at the main stage of Tomorrowland, for example. So let's see, let's see.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to do this. You've definitely had a
My
pretty
pleasure.
interesting career so far, and been able to create some great songs and bring a lot of joy to people with sets that are inspiring and exciting. And I'm excited to see what you do next.
Thank you very much. It's very kind.